I tried an experiment. I played online poker for half an hour and I raised every single hand. If someone raised before me, I 3-bet. If someone 3-bet before me, I 4-bet, no matter whether I had aces or 9 deuce offsuit. I didn't know what to expect, but it really taught me something. I played 2NL on PokerStars because I didn't want to risk too much money for this experiment, but see for yourself how this session went.
So in this first hand, we already have a squeezing opportunity with King-Jack offsuit after the hijack raises to 3 big blinds. And once he 4-bets, we have to fold. 10-4 suited in the small blind. This will be an interesting one now. But we said we have to raise. And we get called. We flop bottom pair on this flop. That is, well, we should either check or bet big, but I don't want to bet big with bottom pair. So I'm happy to check this one. And when he bets almost half pot, this is a bit big, but I still think we have to call with bottom pair. Backdoor flush draw. All of this doesn't materialize. Now, we still only have bottom pair on this river, and he had pocket sevens, unfortunately. We lose this one as well. King Jack again, and this is an easy one for a change. We can just raise, and we get 3-bet. Well, there is a cold caller here, but I will still fold this one. Had it been King Jack suited, I would have called. This is another grim one here. Look at this, boys and girls. 9-4 offsuit, but we get it through. Our first win of the day. Yay. There we have a limper in the low jack. And a small raise. I hope you won't 3-bet, because then I have to cold 4-bet with my Jack 8 offsuit. But we can just cold 3-bet. And we get this one through as well. Queen 3 off. I was almost about to fold it, because our autopilot I would definitely fold it. But we said we have to raise every hand. So we're raising Queen 3 offsuit, getting cold called by the big blind, which is not great. His range here could be all sorts of stuff, but I think I'm gonna go with a small bet. I mean, this board is one that I would normally either big bet or check. However, this doesn't really apply against a cold caller, and we are most likely behind, I would guess, with our queen high, which is why I am going to continue barreling. The 10 is not great for our range, however, I don't think he has many 10s, and I think the king is now actually good for our range. Because of that, I am going to shove this one, and we might get called by pocket jacks or so. Well, actually, he did have a 10, and he had 10-6. Wow! He cold called our 3-bet with 10-6 suited. I mean, I'm not the only one doing crazy stuff, and unfortunately, I ran into it there. Ooh, and now we have ace-king suited. This is actually a hand, and unfortunately everyone folded to us, and even the big blind folds. The one time we actually have a hand. So yeah, not going super well, but I mean, what do you expect if you 3-bet? Well, sorry, I just need to 3-bet this one. What do you expect if you 3-bet Queen 3 off and then barrel it off? Your opponent happens to flop 2 pair and turn a boat. Well, another interesting one. 10-4 offsuit under the gun. We are raising it nonetheless. And we get it through. Jack 3 off this time, and we're still under the gun. Jack 6 offsuit in the big blind. This could become an interesting one. And obviously 3-betting as per our instructions. And this player just gives up. And now we have to go for the early 3-bet, hijack versus low jack. At least we have the king blocker, trying to find some positives here. But once we get min 4-bet, that's not great. That might be... Now he doesn't have any stats on me, so I was thinking maybe he has recognized that I 3-bet very, very wide, to say the least. But I hadn't played a hand against him, so I think he just really min 3-bet there with whatever he had. And this is a pretty good board for us. He now donks, which I don't know why he would do that. He might have something good, but I am just going to raise because I definitely have more aces and kings, so definitely gonna max exploit. Ooh, this could be interesting now. 3-betting 9 deuce offsuit in the small blind against an under the gun raise, and we don't really flop super well. However, I am still going to c-bet it, and we get snapped off. I will check. Now I have a gut shot at least. Problem is that he's betting quite big. Oh, it went half pot, and I think, doesn't take much to recognize that we are probably behind there. So that's a problem if you play such a terrible range that you will get quite a few folds. On this one, this is interesting. I am going to c-bet it quite small because I think he might overfold, but probably not against me. Although we've only had one hand against each other. So on this one, I am just going to continue barreling because I think, yes, I think he will fold quite a bit. If he doesn't have an ace or a 9, that's quite good to barrel on that card. Queen 3 off again. I think this is the one I got stacked with last time. This time we're getting to win the blinds. 8-4 suited. This could be a nice one to 3-bet. Might not even have to 3-bet. Yes, we do have to 3-bet to 3x. And we get him to fold. Jack 8 offsuit. Again, we have to 3-bet it. We get called. This is a flop that's not great for us. We can either go big or check. I think a big bet will overperform, and if we get queen 10 to fold, that will be delightful. Now we turn top pair. We could go for a bet actually once again. I think I am going to do that. I'm going to go 2/3 because I can still get called by 6s through 10s and a flush draw, and possibly even something like ace king. And I will check the river. And yeah, I got called by king 10 of clubs. So that one went quite well. I don't think I have to tell you that we did get very lucky there, but we played okay. Yeah, this one I don't like because, I don't like a lot of things here, but this one I have to go very big now. He makes it 3.5x on the button. And ace 9 6, not exactly great for our hand, but at least we have a back door and we can rep the ace, and hey, look at this. Aggression works. 10-3 suited. This is actually a really fun exercise to try to just really ramp up your aggression, and you just don't have a choice. I can't really say, oh no, I don't want to play queen 3 offsuit. I don't want to cold 4-bet it. Well, I have to sometimes. And the pool is quite nitty, and I don't think many players have caught on to what I am doing because we haven't really played a lot of hands against each other. Isolating this guy with 4 deuce suited, not the worst flop, and he donks, but he donks quite small, so I am going to raise. And once he calls and donks again, I do not like that, but I'm still going to go with a big bet now that we have caught even more equity. And he donks for a third time, and now, I mean, I definitely can't call with 4 high. The question is whether I want to jam or not, but we are very deep, and I think by him donking 3 times, he's telling me that he's got something, so I will just fold. Well played. I think he probably had an ace, and I don't think that I could have gotten him off it, maybe with a jam. But we had a lot of equity actually on the turn, because not only did we have the gut shot, but then we also turned the flush draw, but unfortunately everything bricked. Monotone board. I am going to c-bet this one very small, and we get him to fold. Excellent. Queen 6 suited. This is actually a legitimate hand to raise for a change. But now we're getting 3-bet, and I would fold this under normal circumstances, so I'm going to fold it now as well. I'm just waiting to have a really good hand and do this sort of stuff with. So against this min raise, I am going to go slightly smaller. I normally go 12.5, but let's just go 12 with our ace-9 offsuit. Now another early one. But I actually don't mind this one. 8-5 suited is even kind of playable. And we have a cold caller, which I do not love. This guy has 4-bet us before. I think, do I want to give up against 2 players? I think I do actually. Well, even though I have a gut shot. If he now checks again, I will now actually go with a fairly big bet. Because I still have the gut shot in case I get called. And if he calls after tanking so long, which he doesn't do, but then if he had done it, I would have gone pretty big on the river, because the whole timing thing seemed to indicate that he doesn't have a strong hand, especially because he checked twice. I mean, the first check is normal, but the second one he could have gone for it if he had had something. Of course, he could still have a weak ace, but I think he would have just called quicker on the turn rather than tanking. Now, 3-betting 6 deuce, and that's not a bad flop for my hand, and I think I want to c-bet this one. I think it's just good to c-bet on that board. This one I am going to c-bet because we do want to try to be aggressive. And it works. 7-6 suited in the big blind. This is a hand that I would 3-bet anyway sometimes. Let's just do it. It works again. 10-5 suited. What a pretty hand. We get 3-bet, so we have to fold. Ace-5 offsuit. Just go into the standard 11 big blinds. Yeah, see, this is quite a nitty pool, and might also be running good in the sense that they don't have a lot of big hands, although we did run really bad the one time. Obviously 9-6 offsuit out of position to a 3-bet is a fold. This one is not something I look forward to. There is a player who made it 3.5x. However, I am going to make it 17 now, because this is a squeezing opportunity and we might be lucky. No, we're not lucky. However, we are actually, because we have an open ender, and this is a board that I would check quite a bit anyway. And when he goes with the 10 big blinds, I can actually, shall we shove here? We can actually shove this one. And we get called, and he already has the straight. I mean, that is very unfortunate that he already had the straight. Did not expect him to call my 3-bet with Jack-7 suited, but then again, I 3-bet with Jack-6 offsuit, and I thought that when he bet the third there, he could have had pocket pair, he could have had all sorts of things. So I actually did not mind the jam, but I ran into really the top of his range, and unfortunately we didn't get here on this one, so I have to fold as well. 7-6 suited. Let's raise this one up. So actually the thing is, except for the 2 times where I got stacked, which was post flop, actually it's not been going too poorly. So this is one that I basically c-bet range small. And once we get raised on this board, I obviously have to fold with my 7 high. Although I did have backdoors. Queen jack off is actually even close to a GTO 3-bet in the small blind against button. This one I am going to c-bet small. So yeah, pre-flop it actually works a lot of the time. The issue has only really been post-flop for me today, because I got stacked twice when I think I got unlucky. A 7 deuce, and we're facing a pot-sized donk bet, absolutely not continuing. 4-way pot. I would always play this one very carefully anyway, and once he donks, this is time for me to get out. 8-5 offsuit. Gosh, I love playing these trashy hands from early position, and look at this. We got a gut shot, however, I check my entire range, and when he bets, I will raise. And he might have done this with all sorts of hands, but now the top pair pairs, the top card pairs, and he called my check raise. I think there's not that much I can do. Do we get the odds to call? We're out of position. There is a paired board. I think I will give this one up. 7-3 off. Let's have some fun. Gonna raise it up, of course. And we're gonna fold to the 3-bet, of course. It seems really crazy. 42 hands, and we've raised every single one of them. We have top pair, but we are out of position, and it's a very wet board. Problem is we also have a gut shot, but if the 5 comes in, then we're dead to a 9. However, I have to still call this one. Thing is, if he bets again now, and he bets pretty big, unfortunately I have to fold. So this is another opportunity to go for the somewhat light 3-bet. And we seem to have just another chance for that. This one's even a little bit lighter, I would say 5 deuce off and 10-7 off. But we did it very fast. We showed real strength. And so we get the fold. Now we just get to raise. Okay, this is a check raising opportunity. He didn't go for it, so now it is an overbet opportunity. He calls, and I think I have to bet again. Don't have to actually go too big, but I am going to bet it because... Oh, okay, well, he seems to have something, so then unfortunately I have to fold. But I was thinking if he has a flush draw, then I don't need to make it too big. And if he has something like a 9 or a 6 or some pocket pair in between, then especially with a queen there, he might fold as well. But he snap raised me, so that was an indicator that he actually had a hand. So we flop bottom pair, and I would normally bet this one big or check, so I think I'll just check. And the 10 is actually a good card, and now there's no reason to bet. And I think we might be good, but it would be too thin to bet because he could have pocket fours or sevens or something like that. But he had queen jack offsuit, so we were ahead all along basically. Jack 5-0. Let us squeeze. Easy squeezy. Problem is, button has 30 big blinds, so he might jam on us, and then I have to call it off with Jack 5 off, but these are the rules, and that's exactly it. I mean, look at this, 17 and 50, and I guess we're probably not ahead. Well, actually, it's almost a flip. Look at this. It's not even that bad. We're making money with this. In theory, at least we do, because in practice we lose. But that's okay. We actually made money there. Well, probably we still lost a tiny bit because the rake is so high, but it wasn't terrible. And now I have to 3-bet queen 8 off, but this one works as well. Seven, 4, 7. This is not an airplane. And there's another 7, and I think now I can actually go for 2 barrels. Though, I mean, my ace high would actually have been pretty good. But now I'm going to have to overbet this one, and we're getting the fold. So, another lovely opportunity to 3-bet king 6 off, but we have position and we have a blocker. However, when he 4-bets, then we have an easy fold. King 8 suited, that's actually a nice hand. And we flop top pair. We can either bet small or check. I think I want to check. I'm not too proud of my kicker. And this is like one of the worst cards in the deck, but I can't do much. And now we have 2 pair. However, it's not great. He goes for almost half pot. There, I can't raise. I definitely won't fold. So I have to call. And we do win against 2 pair. So I could have gone for value against this exact hand on the flop and turn, but wasn't to be. At ace 10 10, I will not, well, no, I will not c-bet it. But I would have had to go quite big to c-bet it, so we'll just give up. I mean, our jack high could be good actually, because it could have a counterfeit pair. So we might, yeah, this is exactly what's happening. Look at this, he had pocket 8s, and we won it with our jack high.
In the end, I lost a bit of money, but I think I got really unlucky twice when I ran into the nuts when I tried to bluff it off. Without those 2 hands, or if I had been a bit luckier in other spots, I think I might have even broken even or finished the session in positive territory. But the moral of the story is that aggression is good. If you pick your spots a bit more carefully, you can actually get away with 3-betting a lot more than the solver would recommend. Try it out yourself. And for some more conventional poker advice, click on this video here.